All right, Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. We're talking up the Canes today. We want to remind you that if you want to help support the channel, you can do that with the super chat button. Just hit that $ down there, fill out the amount, and help us out to keep Mark Rogers TV alive. And also, of course, dive into the videos that we're releasing on a daily basis right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, the best discussion, debate, and analysis. And especially, you see him right there. Joining us today, we got Zoe on the line. Alonzo 1219. So you got to check him out at the U family. Alonzo 1219, the U family. Zoe, how you doing today?
Man, I'm great. Awesome. Glad to be on the show today with you, my brother.
Man, you're looking good.
I'm looking old.
Oh, you're looking good.
I'm looking old, man. I see you shave. You decided to shave yours off. You grew it back a little bit.
Yeah, we went out for my mom's birthday last Saturday night, and I knew she would like it if I took it all off.
Yeah, you got it. My mother liked the beard, so
I went clean, and it's growing back from there. It takes me a little while, but man, you got the black. The black is clean, especially now with the hat too. It's nice.
Yeah, I got a few of these made up. I got the orange one. If you can see the orange one behind me, I got that one made. I got a few people that wanted them, so I made up a few and sent out a few.
Yeah. All right. We've got the live chat fired up. I'm sure there's going to be people commenting and asking questions, but we'll just start talking about the news of the day and anywhere you want to take this, though, as you well know. And I like to impress upon everybody out there. You're probably a Miami football fan if you're watching us right now. And if anybody, and I can't imagine anybody out there doesn't know about Zoe, but if you don't, you got to check him out at Alonzo 1219, the U family, and not only check them out, support the channel. If you want this to continue here and over there, you got to help us keep it going.
I'm glad you said that because people tell me I be begging. People say I be begging if I ask for donations. They say all he do is beg for money.
Well, let him talk.
Oh my God! It's a lot of people don't understand how much energy and how much time you put in behind the scenes into this YouTube thing. Everybody just think you come on camera and talk.
Absolutely.
I wish it was that easy.
What have you been doing all day? You've been grinding all day at your regular job. And now you're on with me, helping me out. Then you got stuff to do for your own channel.
And you helped me out a bunch too. So I mean, and I see you growing. You're growing the way you should be. I expect you to be at 15, 20,000 before the end of the season. You're growing pretty fast now. I'm loving it there. People are finally starting to respect what you do.
Well, folks are catching up. Sometimes it takes them a little while, but they're going to catch up. They're catching up to you. They're catching up to me. And the beauty in it, if we talk about this all the time, I support Zoe. He supports me. We do it different ways. Not everybody's going to do it the same. That would make for a boring world. We do it different ways, different type of analysis, different type of talk, and it's all good. And you get the flavor that you want for that particular day.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you can't beat it. You got to get outside the box sometimes, and everybody can't be the same. If it's the same, if people listen to the same exact analysis, then it would be a boring life. It would be. We talk about that on Facebook sometimes. People are different in different ways. That don't make you right or wrong. It just makes you different. That's all.
There you go. So, there's a few rights and wrongs in life, but we won't get to those. But it's about loving people and being respectful and doing the right thing, and defending your turf and defending your people. But beyond that, man, it's a lot of opinion about football. So, let's have fun. Let's have fun with it. You picked up a pretty good football player here in the last couple of days, Jalen Phillips from UCLA.
Yeah, I don't know a bunch about him, but I know I've heard nothing but good things about him. I'm gonna have to really do some studying on him. I felt like we're gonna get him regardless. In my opinion, I felt like he was gonna come to the University of Miami. He talked about it early on during the transfer portal thing, and I felt it was a done deal. He just decided to make his announcement yesterday, and I don't know if he's going to be eligible in 2019. I've heard some people say he's going to be eligible, and I've heard some people say 2020.
Yep.
So I don't know how that works. And the same thing is with Tate. I don't know what his eligibility status is at as well right now. It's still up in the air. Nothing has been definite on that. So I guess we have to figure out on Tate Martell and Jalen. But I felt like we were going to get him regardless. I just felt like he's going to come to Miami. He talked about it. He wasn't going to stay. He wasn't going to stay there. Him and Tate play high school ball together. Him, Tate, Brevin. I think there's another guy. So I felt like it was a good fit for him, to come with some guys that he knows, you know what I'm saying? And what's better than South Florida, man?
That's what
With the
I
new,
hear. That's what I hear. I've
it's
only
a
gone
beautiful
as
place.
far south as Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
I've never made it all the way down.
Coral Gables is beautiful. I mean, that is the most beautiful campus on earth. I'm serious, man. If you go there, just the waterfalls and the lake and the swimming pool outside and just the outdoor environment. It's a gorgeous place for college kids to be in Coral Gables. I mean, it's like it's I mean, I feel like you can't get. I've been to some college campuses, and I'm not saying that I'm a Miami fan. I'm just saying that it's probably the most gorgeous campus in the United States. Not because I'm a Miami fan, it's just a beautiful campus.
So he's leaving a place in Los Angeles where you would assume it's gorgeous. It's a private school, UCLA, and probably upgrading when it comes
Yeah,
to the
and California has some
or
beautiful
outside.
women, beautiful campus, UCLA, USC, but this campus is just unbelievable. Miami campus is second to none. I'm serious. It's a gorgeous campus. And that new practice facility, they say that's probably one of the best in the country as well. So
Shout out to Terry King. Thanks so much for contributing here to Mark Rogers TV, and a big what up to Zoe from Terry King.
what's going on, Terry? Appreciate you, my brother. It takes a little bit to keep these channels running, man. I appreciate you supporting Mark, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, we
I know
appreciate
you
it.
I know you asked me a question about newcomers and what newcomers would make the biggest impact
Yep.
for the University of Miami. And I'm not going to talk about transfer portal guys. I'm going to talk about what freshmen I think may make a big impact. And I'm thinking I know everybody's probably going to say Jeremiah Payton, and I'm going to say the same thing. I just believe that I feel like we 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 we're gonna need help at the wide receiver. We're loaded at wide receiver, but I still feel like we're gonna need help at wide receiver. And I feel like Jeremiah's I feel like he's a guy that can come right in right away and catch some balls from us, catch some balls for us, maybe do a little punt return, and stuff like that. I feel like he has the speed to do that. So with him, I feel like, you know, I feel like he'll make an immediate impact. And Christian Williams, the guy that we got from Alabama
Yep.
on the defense side of the ball, I feel like he most definitely can make a big impact as a freshman. We're going to need help on the defense side of the ball. So I feel like he most definitely can make an immediate impact. Hopefully Zion Nelson at the offensive line position. People are up and down the offensive line. I think it had more to do with play call than anything. But that's a position that most people are gonna focus on. So I'm gonna focus on. I believe that him. I probably can move him inside the guard. You know what I'm saying? As a freshman, help out a little bit at guard. But I think that he most definitely can do something. And Jafari Harvey at defensive end. Because we're gonna need to slide some guys in the tackle. You may be in to slide him in a little bit. I don't know because he's not that big, but I mean they're gonna put some weight on him. And Coach Diaz says is really not. They're not looking for how big you are. They're looking for how strong and how fast you can get. You can get through those gaps. You know what I'm saying? And if you can, a lot of people look at size. Well, he's only 225, so he might not be. 225 does not mean you're not strong. It just means you're not as big as some other people. But you know what I'm saying, with different schemes that Manny runs, I could see him switching them inside out, you know what I'm saying, every now and then to keep guys fresh. So those would be the few guys that I feel like can make an immediate impact coming into next year. And we definitely gonna focus on the offensive line and see how we do with that. But I think that's more play call. And I feel like the play call is gonna be a whole lot better this year than it was last year. So I feel we're fine in that.
Oh, we won't get started on that and look back. We'll look forward.
Nah, we're looking forward. That's why I say I feel like it's gonna be a hell of a year for the University of Miami. A lot of people saying it's gonna take time for the offense, for Coach Enos and the offense to develop. I mean, for the kids to learn Coach Enos' offense. And he said it perfect. I'm not developing an offense for an offensive scheme for me. I'm doing one for the kids who on the team. So basically, what he's saying is he gonna make his scheme for the talent that he has. And when he said that brought music to my God. I know I've been saying that so long. You don't just have a scheme. You scheme to the talent that you have.
Yep.
So that's what he said he's going to do. And I think it's going to make it so much easier on the quarterbacks and on the quarterbacks who's gotten a bad rap and the offensive line who's gotten a bad rap. I feel like he's going to make the offense a lot simpler and just to design around the players that we have. And that's what great coaches do. Bill Belichick, probably the greatest coach of all time. And he's done it several different ways. He's never had the same offense. You know, with the same quarterback, he's always changed up offenses for this. I remember the 2 tight end offense. Remember the Randy Moss offense. You know, he's done it several. The running back with Corey Dillon. You know, when he had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, when he had Randy Moss and Wes Welker, he did it so many different ways, and that's what great coaches do.
They've really been taking advantage of these little slot receivers they've had over the last few years with Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola. You mentioned Wes Welker. That is,
and it started with Wes Welker. It started with Wes. I remember he took him from the Miami Dolphins. It started with him, and sorry he didn't get a ring. I'm not a New England fan. I'm glad I wanted him to get one, but not when he left. I always root against New England I always root against New England, and
I'm right there with you. I am sick. I am tired. I am sick and tired of watching that over and over and over. It's to their credit, but man, it seems like they get every break in the book.
They get some calls, but that Tom Brady guy, man, oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's clutch. He's pretty good. I think he's at least top 30 in NFL history.
Top 30 or so.
We'll top 30. Around top 30 quarterback. Yeah, top 30.
Well, we'll get him in there. Maybe a slot or two behind Joe Flacco. Maybe.
Pick your poison.
So, you gonna be able to make it down for any of those spring practices?
Yes, I'll be able to make a few spring practices. Gonna try to make the main. I'm gonna try to make a few early, and then the main one they're gonna have one main spring practice in Miami. They're gonna have the biggest one in Orlando. So I'll definitely make those 2, but I'm trying to make maybe 2 or 3 before then.
So we got Alonzo 1219 on the line. I gotta consider that most of you know exactly where to find him, but if you don't, it's Alonzo 1219 on YouTube. So look him up, check out the videos, check out the talk, especially the live streams when he brings it at his very best, and contribute. So for you, that may mean you sacrifice one lousy cup of coffee for the month. For him, it's contribution that's going to help him keep it going. Same thing right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Whatever you can give us, we're going to put it to good use and keep this going. If you don't want this to continue, then don't watch and don't contribute. But we appreciate, in addition to that, the likes, the comments, share the videos, get them out there. You guys have influence, and you have friends and family and social media spheres of influence that we don't have. And so you can get the videos out there by sharing the videos, and start with this one. It will process and post as soon as we're done here. And if you missed any of it, you just wait for it to post, and you catch up to the first 5 or 10 minutes that you missed. So when we look at this football team in regards to talent, it's the best talent in the division. And that's the case every year, and has been the case forever since they joined the ACC. When you look at a transition of a new coach, a first-time head coach at this level, there's a transition to be made. But then on the flip side again, there are no dominant teams. There aren't even good teams in this division. So what do you expect out of this team this fall?
All right. This is the toughest question, but I have an easy answer for it. But it's the toughest question because people look at you like you're playing like you're a homer, and I've never played homer. I'm pretty honest on what I feel about the team. I feel like best case scenario for this team this year is 12-0. Like you said, we are more talented than anybody in the Coastal by leaps and bounds. I feel like what held us back was the offense. Over the past 3 years, I felt like we had the offensive talent, we just didn't have the execution and play calling. So I feel like with Coach Enos, and like I say, listening to him, and he kind of reminds me of Manny Diaz on the offense side. I believe that I've watched a little bit of his film when he was offense coordinator. He has so many different ways he mismatched his talent. You know what I'm saying? So, and Alabama was going to make him the offense coordinator for a reason. So, another thing I like about him is he's not a real young guy. So he understands, he really understands football. So I feel like best case scenario, 12-0. Worst case scenario is 10-2, because the two losses that I would look at would be to the Florida schools, and we would lose the state of Florida. And that's not a good thing. Um, don't want to lose to Florida or Florida State at all. Those are the teams that have as much talent as us, if not a little bit more. So those will be the two teams that I'm worrying about. The good thing about Florida State is they don't have a quarterback at all right now. So I feel like, but they were smart by hiring Kendall Brown as the offensive coordinator. I think he's a great mind. I like him as well. I feel like I call him my Uncle Drunker Willie. I feel like he did a great job at hiring Kendall Browse, understanding that he couldn't do the offense. I think that's what made him a little bit smarter than Mark Richt. He understood that he couldn't do the offense and control and do the team as well. So he hired a young guy, Kendall Browse, who I wanted to be at Miami, and but they don't have a quarterback right now, so they're up in the air. And Florida didn't really impress me last year. I mean, they won the way we won 2 years ago. They had a couple of little blowouts, but they had tough games against Carolina and a few other teams that they easily could have lost. And Carolina's trash, So no disrespect. They're garbage. So I mean, and they're in the worst. They keep saying like they're in the SEC, but you're in the SEC East. You have Carolina, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Sirius. I mean, come on, for real. You don't have anybody in that division. Tennessee's only been good twice in the history of that program. So, I mean, it's nobody over there that you really have to compete against in the East, except for Georgia, So, those are the two teams that I feel like can beat us on our roster. Virginia Tech can get us they can get us just because they have good athletes and good coaching. But they're nowhere near as talented as us. So, best case scenario, 12-0. Worst case scenario, 10-2. I don't even want to split with those guys. I want to beat both of them.
All right, Zoe, I'm going to challenge you on this one. So this is the way I look at it. If you take every individual game exactly the way you just did, I totally agree. There is not a game on the schedule that you cannot win. And when I say can't win, I mean have a reasonable shot, not like a puncher's chance shot. We can line up with similar talent than Florida and Florida State. So you could go 12-0. And then all the other games are Duke and Pitt and Georgia Tech and Virginia and all these teams that are basically the 35th to 50th best teams in the country. That's about where they are. They're in that range. They're not top 25 teams. They're in the 30 to 50 range. Talent-wise, you're in the 10 to 15 range, 10 to 20 range, something in that range. You're better than all of them. So if you could line them up and play them on paper, you're going to win those games by 10 to 14 points. But I can't see you going through that schedule and not tripping up once or probably twice against those other teams.
See, the way I look at it is, I look at who's leading. Who's leading, and I said this 2 years ago. I feel like Manny Diaz is like, I feel he's cut from the cloth of Jimmy Johnson and Nick Saban. I just feel that way. Just listening to him talking. Listen, you got to realize what he did with a defense that was ranked in the 90s. His first season got him as a top 5 defense.
True.
And with not having that superior talent. Just coming off sanctions, probation, what I'm saying? Not having a full roster, starting 3 freshmen, what I'm saying, at linebacker. And to take that team that was ranked 90 in the 90s under the Narfield, and everybody saying how bad the defense is and how great the offense was going to be, because the offense was actually pretty good. He took that defense, and no matter how bad our offense was, he's in the 3 and outs, and we were 3 and out for the last 3 years. Every game, at least 3 or 4 3 and outs, 5 3 and outs every single game. And to have them ranked as a top 5 defense when your defense is on the field as much as they were is amazing, especially from a defense that was ranked in the 90s when he first got there. I think 80s and 90s, somewhere around. I mean, we were bad defense. We were really bad defense. And people said defense was going to need time. And he's like, forget that. We don't need time. We're gonna dominate from day one. That's what he did. And we have all the talent in the world on offense, and we try to figure out why we can't get it going. And to bring in a guy like Enos, who I feel like can get it's the game that we lost were close games, and our defense kept us in game. Just imagine what happens if our offense can score a couple points on the first drives with that defense still intact. I don't see. I just feel like I don't feel like he'll allow us to slip up. I don't think he will. I just think he's a dog. I think he's not. He's gonna prepare every game like it's the Super Bowl. I just feel like that's how he plays. And our defense isn't perfect. The one thing that I criticized him about was, especially later on in the season, it seemed like every drive, the first two drives of the games, we would give up touchdowns. And I have no idea. He adjusted well, but in the beginning of the game, he wasn't. I'm not gonna say they weren't prepared, but maybe a little too many blitzes, or not paying attention to the wheel routes and giving up touchdowns on the first one or two drives in the game, and then he kind of corrected that. But I just feel that guy's a dog, man. I don't feel like he's gonna allow them. I feel like he's gonna will them to especially get teams you're supposed to beat. I don't believe he'll allow that to happen. He's not Mark Richt who's gonna get up and say, "Well, I want to congratulate the other team." They just better not. He'll get up there. I think he'll slam the microphone. He's not. He would. I would not want to be a player on that team if you lose to Duke. No disrespect to Duke. I love Cutcliffe. And Georgia Tech. I think they're gonna be kind of scary this year with that new offense, but I don't want to be a guy on that team that made mistakes and we lose to Duke or Virginia. I don't, or Georgia Tech. I don't want to be that guy.
And that's football. What you're talking about is football. That doesn't mean you don't respect your players. You don't treat them like people. Of course you do. But you get in people's faces, you challenge them, and you say, that's not good enough. We're supposed to win championships here. This has to be better. And you use some expletives if you think that's effective, or if that's you, whatever. But that's football. And we've grown a little soft. The way we've raised kids and raised people to work out in the work world these days, because people don't want to hear that. But that's how you deal with a football team. It's a tough sport. And so you don't coddle kids and then send them out to try to run through somebody. That's not the way that works.
No, you have to. I believe every person to a man respects, and on that team respects Manny Diaz. You look at Jeff Thomas. As soon as Mark Richt gone, who's back? I'm just being honest. As soon as Mark Richt is gone, as soon as he's out the door,
here he comes.
Yep. Jeff Thomas is. Everybody thought he was just going to Illinois. It was a done deal. It was done. And as soon as Manny Diaz takes the job, it's like, all right, we want you. You're a dog. We want to use you the way you're supposed to be used. And he's right back in. I mean, Manny Diaz he's done and said everything the right way. It's been kind of arrogant a little bit. He's been kind of cocky, but I don't want that humble coach who, now I want somebody who's going to get out there, who has a little fire in their belly, and who's going to fight for those kids and fight with those kids and punish you when you're wrong and congratulate you when you're right. And an X's and O's guy, and the whole staff he brought on. You look at, except for Enos, a bunch of young guys who's hungry. He fired the whole offensive staff. I loved it. Y'all wasn't good enough. Bye. If you don't do your job, you don't get a check here. And if you notice, everybody on that offensive staff has a job except for John Rick. His fault. How are you the quarterback coach University of Miami? How are you the quarterback coach University? His daddy can't even get him a job now. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand how.
I will never understand it either, because it's one thing to try to set up your kid for success. Use your pull. You're one of the most popular coaches in the country. You've got a ton of tie-ins to other places. Get him a job at a Division III school. Let him work his craft and prove himself. And you've done your job as a father. And let him go and let him work out that on his own and figure it out and go through the ranks. not put your job in jeopardy.
Exactly.
That's crazy to me.
And that's what he did. That's what he decided to do. He actually put his job in jeopardy, man. And basically, it didn't work for him. So he basically, I quit. That's basically what he did, and that's kind of crazy to me, but I mean, hey, it worked out for us.
Results from last season, though, you're spot on. If we look at the results, even though they lost 6 games, let's put the bowl game aside. That's a different deal. Who knows the motivation, the preparation? They're playing in the cold, whatever. All credit to Wisconsin for blowing them out. But let's just put that aside. So they're 7-5. They lose. They don't match up against LSU. They get blown out. The ACC losses, to your point, they're all within a score. They're 1-score games. They're 3-point games. They're touchdown games. Duke, they played in the monsoon. And again, you credit Duke for getting the job done in football conditions. You got to play the way it's out there. But that obviously, that turf, those conditions favor a slower football team.
Yeah.
So to your point, if you get good coaching, you tighten up the game plan and you call it right, and you get the team fired up and motivated, you make up for 1 score in those games.
Yeah, our defense held us into every game. I mean, they held us into every single game. And it's like, eventually the offense has to catch up. It has to. And it never did in 3 years. The offense never caught up, and everybody kept blaming the offensive line. And I'm going to have to wait until they get in the proper system before I blame the offensive line. I can't blame the offensive line without blaming the guys who are getting paid to put them in a better predicament, period.
If I'm reading this right on the live chat here, somebody just kicked me $20, and that somebody's on the line with me right now. Am I seeing this? We
gotta support. We gotta support the.
This is the man who is delivering the guest commentary, the guest analysis. You're supposed to be getting paid for this.
Nah, man, I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm good, man. You gotta support the cause, man.
So I just want to let everybody know out there, I'm going to be on Patreon here pretty soon. I'm getting that set up, and the same thing.
I got to get it done. I got to get it done as well.
Yeah, same thing holds true for these super chats here at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, and over on Zoe's channel. You guys know your financial situation. You know what's going on with you. We just love the views and the comments and the likes. At the same time, we work full-time jobs. We want this to blow up. We want it to be as good and as great as it possibly can be, and that takes resources. And so Zoe goes out there and works. I'm not even going to guess how many hours he works at his regular job.
Like 60, 65.
There you go. A good 60, 65. I throw a good 50 hours at my job. I'm back here doing 50 hours doing this. I'm working 100 hours a week because I want to make this as good as it can be. So that's going to continue if there's some level of support. If you can't do that, just watch the videos and like and comment. But if you can throw $5, $10, and spare yourself a few calories, that's usually what it is. You're probably going to put a few years on your life, and you're going to support 2 great college football channels. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, I've changed up a little bit this year. I think I was real moody last year, going through a lot of things, personal things and work things, and this is stressful. So I got a little moody last year. So I decided to cut back on as many lives, and because I tell people I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and people get mad, but I let you know that. So typically, if you say something stupid to me, then I'm gonna say something stupid back to you. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm just not even responding or blocking or whatever, because people will goat you into stuff. That's one thing I noticed about when you're trying to do something or you're trying to be positive, people will really goat you into trying to say something, especially when they know you like me, when you have kind of a quick temper. So I've had to, channel my inner Mark,
Yeah, you can imagine what kind of comments I get. I get a lot of, you're an effing idiot, you're this, you're that, and I just keep kind of humming along and go right past it. But
I get them, and I think sometimes they like for me to go at them because they know but now I've gotten to the point. I think over my last couple of videos, I think I've done a lot better. I've actually just, ignored, and what I'm saying. I've seen a few shots, but nowhere near as many as I've done. Trying to cut back on the profanity as well. I know I told them my live chats are different, but I'm cutting back on a lot of that as well. Just try to be a little bit more be the same, but be a little more, be the same but different. We have to. I tell people, if you can't, the day you stop growing is the day you die. The day you stop learning is the day you die. So you have to continue to grow at what you do.
Legalized Quack here has chipped in with a contribution, so we appreciate it. And he says, appreciate you guys. These streams get me through the off season. Legalized Quack, we thank you so much for that. Appreciate your contribution, no doubt. Zoe, my son, my boy, is always telling me how to run my YouTube channel. So the one thing he tells me that I should be doing on a consistent basis is responding to viewer comments, which I do in the actual comments. I try to get to as many as possible. It's, of course, impossible to do that. I got like 10,000 comments last month. I can't do that, but I try to review them and say, okay, this guy made 8 comments. I'm going to pick out the best one and get back to him. Or if I see somebody that's never watched before or never commented, then I'll get back to them. But he wants actual videos saying viewer response, viewer comment response. And
you can't do that. Yeah, tell your son he's 110% wrong. It's impossible. It is impossible. I used to go back and like go through every comment during the uploads, and I would try my best to comment
videos, like selecting the best comments and responding to them on a video.
Yeah, I used to go back and do that, but that takes up. So I used to be at work on my lunch break trying to take up my whole lunch break. You can't do that. That is impossible. To be honest with you, the thing with Super Chat is if you make a comment, if you donate $2 to the Super Chat, it's lit up. And I'm going to read every last one of them. I'm also going to read the ones, I'm going to read a lot of them that's in the live chat as well. But I'm going to respond to every last one that has a donation to it because it automatically lights up. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little easier to get to that. I'm going to get to as many comments as I can. It's not like I don't even make $100 a show on Super Chat. Sometimes I do great. Sometimes I do a whole 2-hour show and get 2 donations. And I'm still reading comments, but it's impossible. Even do an upload. You just did an upload. Now you have to go back while you at work on your lunch break and try to review every comment, then come home trying to figure out what's going on in college football today, then go try to do it's impossible. I did it for like the first year of doing videos and I never had no time. It was always trying to respond to a comment and it's impossible to do, especially when you have a full-time job. It's impossible.
A couple of weeks ago, I looked back to see how many videos I had posted over the previous 30 days, so 1 month. And I don't even think this was a particularly busy or content jammed month. So how many videos do you think I posted in 30 days?
I'm going to say about 60, 65.
119.
Damn. And I did just say, damn, I might have to put $1 in a jar for saying that.
Well, I think that's under the bar. I think that's fine.
119?
119.
At least you got my favorite number 19 on there, I mean, goodness gracious.
Why 19?
All right. Well, my 2 favorite numbers are 1, 2, 1, 9. It was 12 and 19. 12, my birthday was January 12th. My mother was born in the 12th month. It's just so many things with, what I'm saying, with 12. My sister, my nephew, my nephew's birthday was December 12th. My nephew's birthday is December 1st. My sister's birthday is December 12th. My other nephew's birthday is December 22nd. My mother's birthday was December 26th. So, and my birthday was January 12th. So, all those 12s, and what 19 was, for some unexplained reason, I tell people think I'm lying when I say this, but my first football number, Pee Wee, all the way up to high school was 19. Never picked it. That was always my number, playing football and basketball. Everybody gets a welder ID number. My welder ID number is 19. I swear to you, I can show people. Bring my stamp, show people that's my word. Didn't pick it. That you don't pick stuff like that. And 19 is all. And then my daughter's first number in elementary school was 19, like seat and chart number. So it's like those numbers have just always stuck with me. So
there's something working there.
Yeah, so that's why I always was 1, 2. That's why those 2 numbers were picked. As as my two favorite numbers because just something, for some reason, 12 has always been synonymous with me. So 12 and 19 has always been synonymous with me. So
I'm going to guess that you're not a big point spread guy. I've never heard you talk about point spreads, Vegas, odds, anything like that.
no, because I suck at it. It's not because I don't like it. It's like fantasy football. I'm not a big fantasy football guy because I suck at it. I don't think it's good or bad. I just suck at it. So I'm not good at, and the thing about it is how spot on Vegas be most of the times. It's like, how did they do that? I mean, you can't point shave that much. Those guys are just good, man.
I'd like to run the numbers on that. I generally agree with you. And the thing is when Vegas is off, it's at a time, it's a game in which like everybody's off. Like, it's not like,
Yeah.
okay, Vegas really missed it and I took advantage of it because I knew that was going to happen. No, it's when everybody's like, oh, Bama just lost 44-16 to Clemson. Well, nobody saw that coming. So it's not like people saw that coming. And
I'm willing to bet you
it's
that
pretty incredible.
I'm willing to bet you they're at least 75% chance they're right all the time. 75%. 75% that they're right because you can't. I'm willing to go 80% because you can't get rich off of missing much.
Well, here's the deal. So all they have to do is balance the betting side. All they have to do is make sure that they've got 50% of the people betting on one side, 50% on the other side. They take their 10% cut and they're good to go.
You about to make me. I'm about to pull up how often is Vegas wrong because I'm thinking 75%.
Okay.
I'm thinking 75, 80% because I could be wrong. I like I said, I never get into it. So
if you're just talking about picking the games without the point spread, I'm around 82%.
But you good.
But now against the point spread, you got to hit about 52, 53% because of the cut Vegas takes. You got to hit 52, 53% just to start to make money. And I'm usually in the 58, 59% range.
Remember what you said? You remember like games from.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that guy. Like if I was to bet on a game, I would probably call you or the wholesome one.
Okay, the wholesome one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of his knowledge of he's the most knowledgeable guy besides you. He's the most knowledgeable guy that I know that does this.
You bring the fire.
Yeah, but that guy's knowledgeable. I mean, I sit back and listen to him. That's why I have him on sometimes. I sit back and just listen to how he can name this player, that player, and he does that while winning 3 national championships on South Dakota with North Dakota State.
Yeah. Well, this really sucked yesterday because I had the wholesome one on, and this has never happened to me before. I had him on, and he could not get the video to work. He couldn't connect, but I had him on the phone, held the phone up to the mic, no audio. And I didn't realize it until, like, there was no way for me to realize it. It was showing up on the monitor, on the meter, and no audio. So unfortunately, that was a waste of time.
A whole video with no audio. That has to be like, I can't find it. That has to suck. You know what you need to do? I'm gonna show you something. I don't know if you have those Bluetooth speakers so you don't have to hold it to the microphone. I went and got these and they work great.
What am I looking at there?
I'm about to show it to you now. And you don't have a little Bluetooth speaker. No. I got them off Amazon. I got 2 of them. They're like $15, and you put them right beside your microphone.
Yeah. Right
on your desk, and they work great. And I don't even have to ever put my micro. I can have my phone in my hand, and this thing is like I had the best calls last week. It was so clear. I had the best calls last week using this thing right here. And I got 2 of them. They're $15 a piece on Amazon. And I set it right by my microphone. Had my phone in my hand. Usually I sit my phone down by the microphone, but Sat my phone down, had my phone in my hand, Bluetooth going through, still can use everything, still can view everything through my phone and not have to worry about sound quality. This little thing here is amazing. I'm serious. It works better than the speaker on your phone.
Mm.
It fits in all the Bluetooth. I forgot which one it is, but I'll get one. Send me an address because I just ordered like 3 more. I'll send you one because I'm gonna send a few out. I'm gonna give it a few ways for little surprises and stuff like that for people who guess things.
Well, I got to tell you that I'm probably going to sink a major investment into some production software, like a new camera, new mic, another laptop that's going to run production software where I can run and scroll stats or scroll the
I don't know if you need another. You got a good. What kind of laptop do you have now? Because you got a good laptop. All you got to do is get OBS.
My camera's not that good.
What kind of camera you got?
I don't think my camera's. I used to use a Logitech, but right now I'm just using the camera right out of my MacBook Pro.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was doing. I got a Edison now. My Logitech, for some reason, when I tried to use my Logitech, I couldn't get no sound. I hooked my Edison right back up and it works great. So I use the Edison camcorder, but I got a great laptop. I am so computer illiterate, so I need to get somebody over here to show me how to do that stuff because I'm not good at it.
Kling Millie, thank you so much for the contribution. Writes here, thank you for your work, Mark. Appreciate that contribution right there. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. All right, there are too many comments there in the chat to go through. I will try to
go through a few of them. I can try to
go through a few of them. So I'm going to throw this out because when I asked the Vegas question, this is the reason why, because I noticed that it was reported just a couple of days ago that Florida's opened as an 8.5-point favorite against Miami.
Great.
So I wanted your thoughts on what do you think that means, if it means anything. Obviously, once they kick it off and guys start hitting each other, it doesn't mean a damn thing. But obviously Vegas knows what they're doing most of the time. So there's something that weighs into that. And of course it's 10-3, top 10 in the nation versus 7-6, but you got a completely different coach and possibly quarterback in play on this side. So you can take it away and I'll look for the best comments.
Vegas was wrong on us a lot when it was telling us we were going to win. That's one thing they were wrong on us a lot. But I think the reason why they opened as an 8.5-point favorite is because they have the same system, same coaches, everything coming back. So I feel like that's how, and the record that they had last year, which deservedly so. They deserve to be the favorites. It's not like we deserve to be the favorites. We have to earn that. So I mean, Vegas got them favored, deservedly so. They played better than we played last year.
They won more games. Coming in from Brendan Vasquez and NMDTV. NMDTV, thank you so much. Great job, guys. Go Canes. Appreciate it.
I've never seen him on my channel. I've never seen MDTV on my channel.
I haven't either.
I've never seen him.
He's enjoying something. Appreciate that.
Now I need to get you over there on my channel, NMDTV. George is always on my channel.
Oh, George.
George, what did George say?
George,
it's great to be a Florida Gator. We are always one of the premier programs in college football. Always, I'll give you all that. Now, as soon as you can get your administration to stop being a bunch of punks and actually play us on a yearly basis, then I'll actually maybe have a little bit of respect.
I've heard something else starting to come out there when you said when you pulled the trigger on punks.
Yeah, I call them Mitches. I don't even say I call them Mitches. They ran from us from so many years. I think Slim Shady Kane. I think they've beaten us once. Last time they beat us, I think they beaten us maybe once or twice since 1981.
They actually beat you the year you won your first national championship. Florida won a week 1 matchup against Bernie Kosar, Howard Schnellenberger in Miami in week 1 in 1983. Now, the only other game that they won since then was Tim Tebow was there. I looked this up a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about it, and I believe it was 2008. They won the national championship.
Yeah, that's the only 2 times they beat us. Master of Dreams is mad at me because I because I basically booted him because he's a silly guy. He told me to shut up. Thank you, Master Dreams. Just support Mark Rogers. Let me see. See.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something good here.
What does Isaiah James say? I got it being a top 25 matchup. They're not gonna put Miami in the top 25 because Florida is most likely will be a top 10. They're not gonna put Miami in the top 25. We're gonna have to win first. They're not gonna put us in the top 25 just for that game. I mean, I don't want nobody giving Miami anything anyway. Miami needs to earn it. Yep, that's it. Dennis Wilson said they beat us twice since they beat us twice, only 85 and 08. Was it 85 or 83?
I think it was 83.
Might have been 83.
Your first championship team lost the first game to Florida, and here you go. You mentioned this a couple minutes ago, Zoe, about me remembering scores. You can look this up and check me. Florida 28, Miami 3, Game 1, 1983.
Okay. No, I believe you.
Where are we? I got to find a good comment here. Man, if those teams are lining up today, I got to take 8.5 points off the top of my head. That's a bit strong for a team. So you made a good comment, and this makes total sense because, I'm watching football games all over the place, and I'm tracking Florida football. I saw the bowl game against Michigan. I got to put that to the side in a sense because even though they took Michigan to the cleaners, Michigan was missing half its team. 1,000-yard running back, best defensive tackle, 2 All-American linebackers, best cornerback, the whole deal. Anyway, they beat them, so that's fine. But during the regular season, as you mentioned, they lost to Missouri by 17 points. They beat South Carolina. I was watching that game. South Carolina had them. They had the game won and blew it. And that was in the swamp. They lost to Kentucky by 2 scores. They beat Mississippi State like 10-6. So they won the games and credit them in a good league. So I would a
good league, not that side.
So
not that side.
SEC Eastern Division. I'm a little bit more favorable toward the SEC East being a good division than you are, but
that side is garbage. I live here in SEC East country. There's only 2 teams out of that division that's won national championships. Matter of fact, only one team. The last 2 teams that win national championships outside of that conference was Tennessee and Florida.
Sure.
And that's in the last 100 years. I mean, that side is, serious. Georgia won in 81, right?
80. Yep.
80. Besides Tennessee and Florida, who else has even been good? South Carolina's never. They had a few good years under Spurrier.
So
Kentucky got lucky. They had a good running back. They got lucky. They had a good running back.
Lucky.
Miami got lucky 2 years ago. I mean, teams have a good year. But I mean by consistently good.
Kentucky
Missouri
brought a rock solid, like top 5 to 10 defense in the country last year.
You think they'll feel that? You think they'll feel that same thing this year?
Because those guys are going to the NFL. They are losing their team.
That's my point. That's what I mean. You feel that every now and then.
Past season.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like what I mean by consistently weeks. I mean on a consistent basis. What team in the SEC East is consistently? Missouri won its first 2 years in the SEC East.
Yep.
His first 2 years there, they won the East. How do you do that?
Their second and third year, to be exact. But
okay. I mean, how do you do that? That's my point. Is like the East is so weak. I mean, they're weak. They're weak over there.
But weak compared to what? So I totally get it. I get you that Georgia's the top program, but they've only arrived here in the last couple of years. Before that, they were a good program. They were a top 10 to 15. Now they're a top 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Florida's. We'll see. We'll see if they can sustain this. They had one good year, and it was a good year, and they weren't a dominant team.
But those are the teams I respect in the East.
Kentucky was good last year, but it's 1 year. Again, I would expect that they're going to go back to 7-5, 6-6. Mizzou's going to be a 7-5, 6-6 kind of program year after year after year. Tennessee's the wild card. Tennessee has been awful for the most part of 10 years. But they've got the resources. They've got the chance. They've got.
They've been awful longer than that.
The recruiting classes to be good.
They've been awful since 2000. So when they won their last national championship, that was the last time they were really good. 98. That was the last time they were good. They've been. I mean, they fired Philip Farmer. They haven't.
They were good until about 07.
Well, they
Yeah.
fired Philip Farmer. Lane Kiffin took a helicopter ride. He took a helicopter.
Lane, he's a piece of work.
I can't remember I cannot remember the last time they have fired every coach.
Well, it depends what you consider good. What's good to you?
10-win season. How many 10-win seasons have they had since Philip Farmer left?
None.
That's not good. And they're not.
9-4 a couple times.
They're not a good team.
Okay.
The problem with them is they have the money and the resource to South Carolina, but they don't have. It's not a football state. I want to read. Can I read this last donation?
Absolutely.
$2 donation from DeAndre Crawford. Clemson Tigers going to win national championship this year. I remember me and him had a conversation. He said I told him not to be on my channel. Well, we got in a couple arguments, and then he came back and talked to me. He always donates to the channel. He's a good guy, and I'm definitely not going to disagree with him because they got I don't know where they got that kid from. I don't even want Trevor Lawrence is. I don't know what he is the greatest freshman quarterback ever. True freshman quarterback. There is not even no one will ever. When I seen from this kid from when he started and how he continued to grow and what he did to he made Alabama defense look non-existent. I've never seen true freshman.
Jameis Winston was he was a redshirt freshman.
He was a redshirt. That's what I said. True freshman. Greatest true freshman ever. He didn't know a playbook. He knew nothing. He got everything that year. He didn't get a chance to study it. Nothing. He came in and great. I mean, he had one of the greatest seasons. I mean, one of the greatest seasons of any quarterback ever. And he's a freshman. I'm scared of that kid. I don't want to see. I'm hoping he tweak an ankle or something when we meet them in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, he can sling it. There's no doubt about that.
Oh my!
Hey, so while you're at it, I'm going to mention real quick. DeAndre is one of my faithful viewers. He does a great job. He gets a little carried away on Twitter and states some things that are just I got to get him back in line.
Those things he do on Twitter, he do on my channel.
What's that?
Those things he do on Twitter, he does on my channel.
So while you're reading these off, though, you might as well read off the next one. We've got a contribution from Chris Game. Do you see that one?
Yeah, Zoe. The Rain Man. I'm going to slap you when I see you. Hey, all I can tell you is, the only thing I can tell you, Rain Man, is that's a nice little threat. But for real, I'm just saying, I keep it with me if you understand what I'm saying. So
we know who we're talking to here.
I have no idea. I have no idea who he is, but
he threw me $2, so he can tell me anything he wants.
Yeah, he can. He put his hands on me. It's gonna be consequences behind it. That's all. That's all I can tell you. It's gonna be some consequences behind it. But I get that sometimes. I've had people I mean, I'm gonna beat the brakes off you when I see you, and this and that, and then they come want to shake your hand when they see you, and this and that. But I'm too old to fight. If you understand what I'm saying.
It's easy to do this, you know.
It's very easy. It's very easy. I'm trying to figure out when people say that, they must not realize I be with like 20, 30 people. So what person is going to allow you to walk up to me and slap me? I be with like 20, 30 people when I'm in Miami. I have a whole bunch of family and friends there. I'm trying to figure out who's going to allow you just to walk up to me and say, you must be a bad guy. But you get those comments. Like I said, I get a lot of people amped up. I hang up on some people, or people go to cursing, and I think people are more upset with me now because I just hang up on them and block them. When you get get acting stupid, because like I said, I'm not gonna risk my life or the life of my family for some you got some real crazy people in this world, man. They deliver pipe bombs and something. We got crazy people over football. It's a game. But like I say, I guess when you say stuff that people don't like, sometimes they take it a certain way. So I'll be okay with that stuff.
Well, also, unfortunately, a lot of people wrap their identity up in it and put their value in how well their team's doing. And when their team doesn't do well, or they think they're not getting enough credit or respect from somebody, they get all unnerved about that. Do I get worked up arguing about football? Absolutely. I enjoy it. I love it. I hate when people are illogical. Anybody who watches me on a regular basis knows that if there's anything that gets me fired up and gets me frustrated, it's when people don't know the game and don't know the facts and don't bring it, and it gets me fired up because I can't debate with somebody who doesn't know anything, and it gets me a little bit frustrated there. That's what'll get me worked up more than anything else.
But it won't get you worked up to the point where you're going to talk about putting your hands on somebody. And
No,
I
no,
tell
no, no, no,
and
no.
I tell people these are life lessons. Um, I forgot the young man name that got shot up in Texas. The football player that got shot and killed in Texas. I keep forgetting his name.
When was this?
A couple years back when he went up to the guy's car and threatened to pull him out. He opened the guy's car and the guy shot him.
Is this the kid that played with the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, but I tell people like serious. I let people know this. I have my concealed license. So I don't bother people. I don't threaten to fight people or beat people up and stuff like that. Because you just never know how crazy somebody really is, and some people will really take that to heart. So just be careful with threatening people, or even because people have the right to protect themselves. So just just be careful with making threats and stuff like that, because it can really get you in a. Actually, I had one guy that threatened me a few weeks ago, and he texted me from his phone number. And I said, I got your phone number, man. And you threaten me live. That's terroristic threat. You can be doing. That wasn't me. Somebody used my number. Cause I texted the guy. That wasn't me. It was you. Somebody hacked my number. Let's remember. I'm like, you guys are so smart when you stupid. Guys, it's football. It is football. Don't take it that serious. It's really not. We do this to try to have fun and enjoy football. And like I said, I'm a lot different than a lot of people, but I have gotten better on my stats and stuff like that. But I just love University of Miami, and I love college football. Not as big as a fan of the NFL anymore. The NFL is just gotten. It seems like it's gotten slower. NFL will be faster than college. It's gotten slower and a little bit more boring. I tried to watch a few games this year, and it was just like 3-0, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these games are horrible. So I'm a big college football fan. And I love people. I really do. Anybody know me, I give you the shirt off my back. I love people, but some people don't like my passion. I'm okay with that though. But you're not gonna put your hands on me.
But again, it's just a different channel. It's a different approach. And if everybody approaches everything the same way, then it's boring. So you get what you get from me, and I'm probably not going to change. And you get what you get from Zoe, and he's not going to change. It is who he is.
I'm trying to change a little bit. I'm trying to get a little bit more on your side. I'm being honest with you, serious. I'm trying to get a little bit more to where I can on your side, and to me that's maturity and growth. If you know what I'm saying, because in order for me to continue to be better, I have to work on my negatives, and I do have some negatives. So my first thing is working on not cursing as much in my temper. Because when people say when people say stuff like, come at me like that, or like you said, people curse you out sometime in the chat and you can go by it. And I'm trying to get to that point where I can go by everything when people curse out and just mute, and just let it go. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point I'm trying to get to. Still have a fire and everything, but ignore more of the negative stuff. And I think I'm doing a little bit better. My last couple of videos, I've done a little bit better. So that's my thing. I'm trying to get a little bit. I'm not gonna go all the way to your side because I can't, but I'm trying to meet you halfway. You know what I'm saying? Get a little bit of that cool and calmness, because
I'm leaning
that's what makes your show great.
I'm leaning. I appreciate that. I'm leaning a little bit more your way in that. I think I got into a bit of a rut in bringing on too many guests. So when I bring guests on, I obviously showcase their knowledge, their insight, and I'm talking Michigan football, and I know enough to talk and hold a conversation about Michigan football, but they're the experts. So I let them go, and I got into a bit of a rut as being too much of a host, and I'm getting back to my own analysis because that's why I'm on here. I want to give my opinion, my analysis, my breakdown, and it's not always going to be emotional. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit more emotional. Sometimes it's going to be many times it's going to be very analytical, but it's at least my opinion, my take, my perspective. That's why I'm doing this, not to be a host interviewing a bunch of people.
I like the helmet too. I don't like the one beside it, but I do like this one right here.
Oh, I lined it right up there for you.
Yes, you did. And
there's the 3-game series right there.
Oh man, that's like I gotta kind of take a picture of that. I gotta take a picture of that and post that on Facebook. I have no choice. I can get that clear. That's that. Keep your head right there because I'm supporting on Facebook. There you go. That's going on Facebook. That's going on Facebook. Right. Yes, sir.
So yeah, week one.
That's a great one.
Week 1. Do you still have plans to make it a big weekend?
Oh yeah, I will be there. That's gonna be the 1219 family reunion. Week 1. We're gonna do 2. We're gonna do the spring game and that's gonna be the 1219 family reunion. Yes, we're definitely gonna be there. I may even buy some tickets. I may even buy about 4 or 5 tickets and give them away. So let's see how that works out. Wow. I might buy 4 or 5 tickets and do a giveaway. Okay. But I'm just letting you know there will be no giveaways to any Gator fans, George. I will not. You could buy one as a Gator fan, but I am not giving away any tickets to a Gator fan. It's not happening, George. So don't even ask me. Don't ask me because it's not happening.
All right. Zoe does it up big on his channel, Alonzo1219, the U family. And we got to hear just a few minutes ago why it's 1219. Numbers that mean something, that have popped up in his life over and over and over and over. And I always wondered about that too.
Yeah, numbers that, like I say, January 12th, year I was born. January 12th, day I was born, 1976. My mother, my nephew birthday, who's basically my son, the young kid the guy that got shot when I was telling you about him. He got shot because he can fight, and the guy was scared of him basically. So you got to be aware of that stuff too. But his birthday was December 1st. My sister's birthday, December 12th. My other nephew birthday, December 22nd, 23rd. My mother's birthday was December 26th. So all of them run in the 12th month. And my welder ID number is actually my football number and my basketball number. My daughter had that number. So it's just all those numbers run synonymous with me. What do I think about FSU offense? $2 donation. I don't know if you're talking about me or Mark. DeAndre, I have no idea how the offense is going to be. They don't have a quarterback yet. But I love the offense coordinator. I love Kendall Browse. So.
All right. So I'm going to back up to Kling, who's asking about Jalen Phillips. So Kling, if you go to the beginning of the video, I don't know when you joined us tonight, but that was my first question for Zoe. So if you, at the end of our live stream, the video is going to post. We talked to Jalen Phillips. I also had on a writer from State of the U. We talked Jalen Phillips. I've talked to Jalen Phillips actually probably about a dozen times going back to his UCLA days, and then certainly when he entered the transfer portal. So I've got all sorts of takes on Jalen Phillips out there. What we know right now is that he was the #1 rated high school player overall, regardless of position, coming out of high school. He signs with UCLA. He plays 6 games as a true freshman, and he racks up 7 tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks. And I probably watched half of those 6 games because I'm watching games all over the place. He's an explosive player. He's a legit talent. He got hurt in game 4, so he only played 3 games last year. That's all we've got on Jalen Phillips. There's 9 career games, and he was very productive the first 6, not so much the 3 that he played last year for 2 very bad UCLA teams, one that lost 7 games 2 years ago and one that went 3-9 last year and lost all the games that he played to start the season. So there's my take on Jalen Phillips.
And I don't think I don't think he's going to be available for
Yeah.
for the 2019 season, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Him nor Tate Martell. Tate Martell said no decision has been made on him as well. So we shall see. But he's definitely a freak of nature, and believe me, I'm happy to get him. Definitely happy to get him.
I will comment on the Florida State offense basically to say I'm not going to go to the extent. We've got a call coming in. This is just a conversation between Zoe and I. So I will do a call-in show later this weekend or sometime soon. Anyway, in terms of the Florida State offense, I'm not going to be as cruel as Zoe is being in the quarterback position with James Blackman. I think James Blackman has some skills. I think he's a decent quarterback. I'm going to say that James Blackman is probably, with all the quarterbacks that are leaving the ACC, Ryan Finley being one of the better ones, of course, and Eric Dungy at Syracuse. I got to think that he's the fourth or fifth best quarterback off the top of my head. And I will have rankings of every quarterback in the ACC coming up at some point in the next few months. They've got Cam Akers at running back. They've got a horrible offensive line. And they've got wide receivers that have been recruited heavily and highly, but they haven't performed at this level. That's the quick take that I have on the Florida State offense. And I'm going to break that down further and more detailed as we go through the offseason.
Well, they definitely have a loaded team. And they got 5-star recruits up and down that roster. You know, so they're a good team, and I mean they just have to put it together. I have no like I say, we'll see with Blackman. I know he had some trouble in Tallahassee, so I don't know how that's working out. But that's what I didn't know if he was going to play this year or not. I know he had some trouble down there, so I don't, But I love Kendall Browse. I'm serious. I love that kid. I swear, I love Kendall Browse.
Hey, Zoe, our guy George is begging, pleading for me to take this phone call.
Go ahead, take it. Take it.
All right, George. Here we go. All right, George. It's the voice of college football. George, what's going on, man?
I can't believe on this $100 T-Mobile phone, I can listen to the video, do the comment section or the chat, and call you simultaneously, and it's all working together. It's amazing.
Technology at its best. Okay. What do you got for us, George?
I just can't contain myself. I live for this game.
Apparently
I
not.
this game. I miss playing Miami. It means everything.
So tell your crybaby school.
Happy. I got 6 good months of talking shit and having fun.
Hang on here, George. Zoe has something for you.
Tell your crybaby school to schedule us every year instead of running from us the way they do.
Did you catch that? We're gonna be on a bit of a delay, possibly here.
It's okay. The Florida administration doesn't listen to me. I've tried. They just don't listen. I don't know what their problem is.
They're scared, George. They're scared.
Scared. You're scared.
I can't help you, man. I don't schedule. It ain't me.
Oh, man.
And I think if you get off probation for a few years, we might consider it.
No, they won't.
Quit hiring Mark Riggs as your coach.
Hey, I'm just saying, y'all should be on probation with all them criminals y'all had on that team. I mean, y'all had somebody doing life in prison. I'm not going to.
Rick saved your life by quitting. You know that. You owe him your life. If Mark,
no, I don't.
Your head would have popped. You know.
Yeah, you're right. He was about to blow some blood vessels in my head, George. I can't stand that guy.
I bet some thug gangster had a chat with Mark Richt, and he said, "Be the coach tomorrow and see what happens." And Mark quit real quick. He's like, "I'm gonna get killed down here."
George, if I would have known you, and you would have been around at the time that you won 2 national championships in 3 years, you probably would have been like, it would have been impossible to take phone calls from you, to hear from you. You would have just been too much to take, I think.
I was just happy all the time. We won basketball, football, back to back. Nobody's ever done that. And we didn't get sanctioned for cheating.
We didn't get sanctioned for cheating. We didn't get sanctioned. We didn't get sanctions for cheating when we won out national championships. And we got 5 of them.
Doesn't get sanctioned. Dabo doesn't get sanctioned, and neither does the Gators. But Miami, on the other hand, they're under the looking glass. They really played straight for a few years.
Miami never got sanctions under championships. Miami never got sanctions under championships. Never. Not under championships. What are you talking about, George? What are you talking about, George?
You hear what Zoe's saying? You hear what Zoe's saying here, George? If you go through Miami's championship,
they didn't get sanctioned during the championship. Okay,
they did not.
I mean, y'all. I mean, like I said, y'all. If you look at your school over the past few years, y'all have way more players with criminal records than any school in college football. Just go look at it.
Oh, so you're in a position now where you should be in the top 10 if Manny's a good coach. At least the top 10 now, if you keep recruiting, if you get a few wins this year. So it could be back.
We're gonna get the first one.
Coming in around top 10, and
we're gonna get the first one this year, George.
Keep it going.
We're gonna get the first one this year, George. Wish you could fly down from Oregon.
I missed the good old days when you had Jimmy Johnson and you were winning, we were winning. Even the Schnellenberger days were.
And y'all were still scared to play us.
It was fun.
Y'all were still scared to play us. Only team that would play us was Florida State. That's why I respect them. That's why I don't respect Florida, because they ran like a bunch of Mitches.
I don't want to. You know, it doesn't do Florida no good to beat you. Then you're going to go play Boston.
Oh my God!
No one's going to get no credit for beating Miami.
Oh my God! I hear you, George. I hear you, but we beat y'all every time we play y'all most of the time. That's why we have a better record.
At least win the regular season. You know, please, I beg of you.
Okay, you got lucky with Tebow and Chris Lee. You still need 2 to catch us. When you gonna catch us, George? When you gonna catch up, George? When you gonna catch up, George? 5 to 3. When you gonna catch up? No, you're not. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the first game of the year.
I have put some money aside to fly you up here to talk about the funeral. If it happens.
You're not going to the game. You're gonna lay on your couch and take that L and drink a couple L's. You're gonna lay on the couch and take that loss, and I'm gonna be at the game laughing at you.
You know who's gonna have fun? The week of this game and the day after, you know who's going to have a ton of fun is me, because I got no dog in the fight. I'm just going to be able to moderate all this and talk about it and just watch the comments fly by.
I keep telling him that quarterback played on Three's Company. He's like 60 years old.
I don't think Dan wanted me to tell you this, but we're going to score on the first play of the game. That's how the day's going to go for you.
Dan, right there, mother. Ain't alcoholic or something.
You're gonna kick off. Run it back.
Why did he get fired?
In Florida. Good luck.
Why did he get fired? Y'all barely scored 7 points every game last year.
We got all the players, man. You got all the transfers, people that missed.
What players you got? I hear you. Dan, I hear you. You sound like a Gator.
And most of them won't be eligible next year anyway, so it don't even matter.
We will beat y'all with our freshman team.
All right, George.
His first string is phenomenal, so I'll give him the first half. We can hang in there and play a tight game in the first half, but it's a long game. It's going to happen. You're going to get blown out in the second quarter.
George, you couldn't even blow out South Carolina last year.
Too much.
You couldn't even blow out South Carolina last year, George. Just think about it.
All right.
Parting shot there, George. There it is.
I love you guys.
All right.
Love you too, George. Man.
I'm sure the kid was just joking around. He's probably drunk talking shit. Thanks for not hurting him.
I'm not worried about the guy. I can't hurt him on TV. Right. Come on, you.
All right, George. We appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
And he'll be calling me because I'm going live at 7:30 probably.
Okay.
So he'll be calling me around 7:30. I love George. George is probably the most active YouTube follower in YouTube history.
This guy will make comments to my videos just to make comments because knows it helps me.
He's amazing. I can argue. I can literally argue with George and not get mad. I would just argue with him and never get mad because he's so kind-hearted. He's just a Florida fan. That's the only thing I know. If he wasn't a Florida fan, we could be best of friends.
Here's a guy that has been commenting on my videos very recently. I haven't seen him before, just the last few weeks. Bergy, Bergy. I would love to challenge George on this one. Ask George to name 7 players on the Gators team. Bet he can't do it.
Nah, George can't name you 7 players. He can name you 7 players in history. He still thinks Tebow won the first. He still thinks Tebow was the starter in the national championship when Chris Leak was there.
That's great. Yeah, a lot of people screw that up. I correct a lot of people on that.
And you know that's what that is my biggest gripe with Tim Tebow. That is my biggest gripe. That's the reason why I can't stand that guy. Is because he never corrects people. I feel like he's obligated to correct people because and when George talked about criminals, Chris Leak actually had a section. He got fired from high school for sleeping with a minor. So now he has. We keep talking about the criminals that's on Florida on the Gators, but I feel like he didn't even. I don't even know if he played in that first national championship game. I know Chris Leak was MVP through FOVA.
He didn't play meaningful minutes. Yeah. He came in the Wildcat down by the goal line.
Yeah, because Chris Leak was MVP.
He threw a little pop pass for a TD, but he didn't play the meaningful minutes and run the offense.
Yeah, Chris Leak was MVP of that game.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when they say 2-time national championship quarterback, I feel like he should say actually no 1 time because Chris Leak he's never done that. So for you to be such a high class so-called Christian guy and you take credit for something that you actually didn't do, and he's never corrected anybody. He's never corrected anybody on that. So that's why people keep saying this, because he's never corrects anybody on it. He just takes the compliment. And that's one of the things that I truly dislike about. That's one thing I truly dislike about him is that he's never corrected anybody on that. And if you are the guy you say you are, there is no way I'm gonna take credit from Mark Rogers if Mark Rogers does something. I'm not gonna take credit for what you do. You know, and he has done that. People really think that he's a 2-time national championship quarterback.
So here you go. Here's the box score from the game, the 2006 national championship game. Chris Leak, 25 of 36, 213 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tim Tebow threw 1 pass for a touchdown, and I remember it well. It was a 1-yard pass. He threw just a little
jump pass. Yeah, a little jump
pass.
And that was at the end of the game when the game was already over, basically.
Yeah, the game was over.
But he takes credit for being the starting quarterback in that national championship game. He takes all the credit for it. And that really bothers me. It does. It bothers me that he's supposed to be this high class guy that refuses to acknowledge that he's not a 2-time national championship. I mean, he won 2, but he wasn't the starting quarterback. And it bothers me that he doesn't give Chris Leak that credit.
Zoe, why I remember this, I have no idea, but I remember stupid stuff like this. It was one of the Florida games against Alabama in the SEC championship. So this is Nick Saban's 2nd or 3rd year. So if you remember, Florida beat them the first time and then went on and won the national championship with Tebow at quarterback in 2008. The next year, they were 1 versus 2, Alabama and Florida in the SEC championship game, and Bama beat them that time, and then they beat Texas. So it was one of the 2 games. It doesn't matter. And I'm watching the game. And one of the Florida special teams players comes down and just levels the Alabama punt returner, kickoff returner, just makes a great play, shot out of a cannon. Great play. They don't mention the kid's name for Florida. The team's going nuts. They're fired up. They're showing Tim Tebow on the sideline and commenting about how Tim Tebow's inspiration.
Yeah, oh my God.
This well and do what? And I'm thinking, give this kid some credit. He's a special teams player. Just made an incredible play, running 60 yards down the field. He just blew up that play. At least mention the kid's name and talk about him for one lousy play.
Can I say something on that? And I might offend some people, but I'm just being honest with you. Tim Tebow was America's darling. Young white guy that voices Christianity in public. And was
a lot of people didn't like that, though.
But a lot of people loved it, and America loved it.
Yeah, it was.
And exactly. So when you do that, because Reggie White didn't get that much credit as much as Tebow got, and Reggie White is one of the greatest players of football history.
He was a minister and a reverend.
Exactly. Yeah. But I just let people know. People get upset at me and I say this is a predominantly It is a predominantly white country. So they love that story of Tim Tebow, just like they love the story of Rudy, even though that story didn't go nowhere near that way. They made a movie about it. They made a movie about it. I told somebody, and this is me bringing. People say I don't like you bringing race in, but I do because it has a factor in everything. I've never seen a minority family considered an all-American family, or a minority kid considered an all-American kid, unless he won an all-American on the football field. I feel like that needs to that in order for us to get better, those things need to be fixed. Because I'm American. I think I'm all American as it gets. Born and raised, dug myself up out of poverty. Hard welder. Do it on a daily basis, and homeowner, wife, 2 kids. So I mean, I think socially those things need to change to where you feel like you can as a black person or any other minority, that you feel like you are American just by them showing that you are American. And Tim Tebow, like I say, I felt like he could have corrected that with Chris Lee, and he never did. And that's the respect I lost from him. Just like.
So it's a great point that you just made, that has to be corrected in millions of people's minds, including mine. So I don't have a racist bone in my body, but it's just conditioning. So what I'm talking about is what you just mentioned about when somebody says, picture the all-American family, picture the all-American kid. Well, I'm going to picture a white family, and a white kid. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that if that's also taken into consideration, that the all-American family, which you just succinctly put it very well. I think of that, and this is what it should be. It should be people that do the right things, pay their taxes, are good neighbors, wife, kids, family, again, work hard, do the right things, treat people with respect, love their country, defend their country, regardless of what they look like. That's the all-American family, the all-American kid.
And that's not what TV shows. So, like you said, it gets conditioned. And a lot of people don't realize when it gets conditioned in your head, it's conditioned. If my daughter can't see herself as an all-American, I have to condition that into her head because the media isn't. And people, and these are discussions that I have on Facebook sometimes, and people get upset at me about it. But I tell people, in order for us to grow as a country and as a people, we have to talk about these things. If we never talk about them, we're not. And it doesn't have to be a negative. You posted something, and it brought a tear to my eye when you posted something on my channel, how we may be different in politics and this and that, but you're my brother. And I kept that and I shared it 1,000 times. And because the only way we can grow as a country and as friends and as brothers brothers and sisters is if we talk about it and understand it. We have to understand each other's point, and if we don't understand each other's point, we can never grow. I loved looking at that at George Bush's funeral, senior funeral with Michelle Obama holding George Bush's hands. You know what I'm saying? As they sit down at the funeral of his father, and it's different. Those guys have a lot of respect for each other, and I love to see that because a lot of people don't see that, and I shared that photo a lot because a lot of people don't see that. A lot of black people don't see that. That how these guys aren't bad guys. You have to be more open-minded to go dig into it a little bit to see who's good and bad.
Something very odd just happened. Technically, I saw a glitch and your audio kept rolling. Nothing happened with you. And now the camera shot is staying with me, even though you were talking the whole time and I heard every word out of your mouth and it was crystal clear. The camera shot is not changing. Very odd. Very weird.
Yeah, because I see myself at the bottom of the screen. But
I think I can change that somewhere, but I don't exactly know where.
It's okay, because I'm about to probably,
Yeah. We can wrap this up. I'll check out the live chat real quick just to see if there's anything we've missed. Probably not. I want to let everyone know.
George just made one more comment.
Well, he's made 112 comments, so he's going to keep making comments. So
what's up, Jay?
Let's put it this way. So go over to Zoe's channel if you haven't already, and obviously support him in every way possible. Watch the stuff. comment, like, contribute financially if you can. I ask that you do the same here. It's going to be put to good use to build these channels and keep us going. Otherwise, I'm letting everyone know, as I have a few times recently over the last couple of weeks, I am not going to work over 100 hours a week for the rest of my life. That's not going to be what I'm going to do. I would rather invest the 50, 60 hours a week I'm going to work right here producing the best college football content I possibly can. So that's the goal. That's the aim. And I would like for you people to be on board with me.
Also to anybody who might know any sponsors or anything out there. I mean,
absolutely.
serious, man. Let's,
Yes.
that would take a lot of the pressure off the fans. If anybody know anything, I'm still working on trying to get some sponsors. Those are huge as well. So if anybody might know, if you up in the Massachusetts area, and I mean New England area, I don't know why I said Massachusetts. If you up in the Connecticut area and you got a snow plowing company or something like that,
Well, so
hey,
the beauty of the internet is that they don't have to be here. We're
Yeah.
worldwide. They can be
you're right.
anywhere.
Yeah. So you want to sell your stuff, man? Hey, I had some people ask me about selling beer oil. One about beer oil and a few other things. I tell people, sure, if you want to throw a couple dollars in there, well, hey, take money to make money. I can't do it for free. I'm not can't do it for free, man. I mean, that's what sponsorship is all about.
There you go.
Make a couple dollars. So I can keep, because I'm with you. I want to quit my job. I want to do this full time, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Then you could talk a lot of trash about me. Because if I'm just doing this if this is just my main job, you talk all the trash you want about me. I'm not tired coming in. This is my main job. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do the NCAA tournament this year too. You need to get on that with me, Mark.
NCAA tournament. I'm going to be talking about like spring football practice.
I'm doing NCAA. That thing is NCAA tournament is huge. I don't even watch college basketball. I'm doing NCAA tournament.
And I love it, but it's just not my thing. I've got nothing to say about it. I haven't watched college basketball during the regular season in forever.
Me neither. I'm still jumping into it. I'm gonna jump into the tournament. I always watch the tournament. Tournament's crazy. I love it. I love the tournament. I don't like the season, but I love the tournament.
MCD Sports 4 says, great show, guys. Zoe just got a new subscriber in me.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he calls me on a regular basis. You just got a Maryland fan. He's a Maryland fan jumping on board there at
and I have, and we don't. Yeah, and they don't play us. So I mean, it's nothing to really argue with them about. Actually, I can root for them now. They're over there with Texas and stuff now, right?
Who, Maryland?
They're in that division? Yeah, what division are they in?
Big Ten.
Who in the big? Okay.
They're in Ohio State, Michigan State's division, Penn State, Indiana, Rutgers.
Okay.
Yep.
A lot of Miami fans get mad at me because I'm not mad at Ohio State. I keep telling them Ohio State didn't do anything wrong. The referee did something wrong. I'm not getting mad at Ohio State. We would have took that call. Sure, I'd have took it. Sure. I ain't mad at Ohio State. Be mad at the referee. So, but I appreciate it, Mark.
All right, so thanks
go ahead and get
your time.
I'm gonna go ahead and
grab
me a bite to eat and get ready to do my show at 7:30.
Absolutely. So you go over to and jump on Lonzo 1219, the U family at 7:30, and we will see everybody back here very soon. Zoe, it's always a pleasure, man. You're the best.
All right, my brother. Love you, man. You be good, man.